Remember that famous cake from school dinners? The raspberry jam and coconut sponge pudding you see in the thumbnail? Every single school in Britain served that up, surely. Let's have a wee trip back to the 1970s and 80s when I was a young laddie. Back to school, the dinner hall and the tuck shop. What a quintessentially British term that is, tuck shop. And by secondary school, we had a few scams for skipping the queue and the occasional free bit of grub. Wait till you hear the custard one. Right, let's rewind.
Oh, I'm not, I'm horrible. I'm a little bit rude, a little bit weird, a little bit... I'm dodgy, I'm a geezer. I will nick anything. I am a toad.
My first primary school was too far from home, and there was no school bus to take you home for lunch and back anyway, so school dinners it was. I have no real memory of them back then anyway, except to say they smelt good. You know that distinctive school dinner smell? And wait till you hear the trick we pulled later for some free chips. Keeping to the food topic, I don't remember a tuck shop, but I suppose it must have had one. All schools had a tuck shop surely. If that's not written in law, it should be. I was only at that school for a year and a half, then it was on to my second primary school. This one was further away as the crow flies, but there were school buses that carted the kids back and forth to the far-flung housing schemes. I went to school dinners at least for some of the time, and the rest of the time I got the bus home for lunch. It's only fair to say the school dinners at this school were terrible. Diabolical. They were so bad, one lunchtime, I threw my rock-hard lump of mashed, and I use that word loosely, potatoes under the dinner table, and the teacher on duty actually heard the thump of it hitting the concrete floor. The dinner hall was a separate building. It was cold, it was damp, it was the 1970s, probably about 1976, and still perfectly legal to whack kids with a leather belt. You might like to watch my video on the banning of corporal punishment in schools if you haven't watched it already. I'll stick a link on screen about now. So the dinner hall dragon caught me disposing of my inedible tatties. Of course, she ordered me to eat them, after they'd been on the floor. My elder brother wasn't best pleased when he found out I'd later vomited in the school playground. Yeah, not many marks out of 10 for that school's dinners. I think that's maybe why I started going home for lunch. It was a strange school even by 70s standards. A weird tuck shop as well. They didn't sell sweets of any kind. You could only buy crisps or peanuts as well. Crisps, that famously healthy option. I did miss the school bus home in primary 3 one lunchtime for some reason lost in the mist of time, but my class teacher took me home in her own car, so at least some of them had a good side. A newly built primary school opened at the centre of our housing estate, so it was on to primary school number 3. This one was only a few minutes walk, so I never once went to school dinners, although I'm sure they were very nice. For some of the time I went home for lunch, and spam rolls and Angel Delight. Beat that if you can. As I got to the final couple of years at primary school, it was round to the Mace supermarket, remember them? They might have been Scotland only. We'd buy stuff for our lunch there, and a 10p mixture from the paper shop next to it. That school did have a good tuck shop. Salt and vinegar twists, mango chutney outer spacers and quenchy cups. And from a lucky bag, those daft plastic fish that were supposed to tell your fortune when you laid it on your palm. Give yourself bonus points if you can remember twists and outer spacers. We did have some odd crazes at various times at primary school. Dented chewing gum was the in thing for a while, God knows why. Do you even still get dented? And carrots, raw carrots, that was a mad craze for a while. Everyone was buying carrots from the Mace and eating them. It even came to the attention of the headmaster, who raised the topic at assembly. I'm not sure what he thought we were doing with them, but he obviously felt we were up to no good to raise the matter at assembly. The mind boggles. We're getting into the early 80s now, and off to secondary school. Our secondary school had a great dinner hall. The canteen style, where you could buy what you want. Well, they had several choices each day anyway. From memory, I think I was given about 50p or 55p for school dinners way back then. By secondary school, we'd all got a bit crafty. Long queue? No chance. We discovered club passes. The school choir, chess club, stamp club, anything that got you past the line. And once you were in, well, some people developed a talent for making food disappear before it reached the till.
You see me? I'm like a one-man crime wave, I am. Yeah, no, I am. You know, I do the lot. I'm a little bit woo, a little bit wee, a little bit... I'll nick anything I will.
They had a variety of school clubs operating in the lunch hour. You got a pass that let you bypass the queue and get your dinner quick, so you had more time for your school club. I was in the school choir, the chess club, the stamp club. I think there was one for every day of the week. Believe it or not, I did actually go to the chess club and the stamp club at least some of the time, as they did check up on you occasionally. There were a few naughty tricks for getting stuff without paying in the dinner hall. People, not me of course, would quickly eat all their chips before they got to the till to pay. Another trick was to push the slice of chocolate crispy cake under the custard so the dinner lady couldn't see it. And who could forget the big cheer that went up when somebody dropped their tray? Extra loud if it was a teacher, as they used the same dinner hall. The standard was certainly a lot higher than one of my primary schools. The teachers didn't have to wait in the queue, obviously. What did you call queue jumping at your school? We called it pickying. That school had a great tuck shop as well. Great value. Hot sausage rolls, crisps, chocolate bars and sugary sweets galore. All for a discount price. As we got a bit older, a few of us would go round to the Chinese chip shop nearby. I'm pretty sure it was 30p for a decent sized bag of chips back then, with lashings of watered down brown sauce. But the bigger attraction was they had an arcade video game in the corner, trying to last as long as possible on 10 pence without losing all your men. They had King and Balloon, Galaga, Mooncrester, among others. But God help you if you were late back for school. You were sent to sign the late book at the school office right next to the rector's office. You didn't want to get spotted by him. Senior teachers commanded respect back then. Anyway, I think I've rabbited on enough. I thought this would be quite a short video, but I hope you enjoyed these tales from the school dinner hall, tuck shops and everything else. YouTube will have selected a couple of my other videos it thinks you might be interested in, and they'll be on screen about now. Thanks for watching.